Hey, good morning, YouTube. I gotta shake it off here. Oh my goodness. It's the drink guy back with one more for you video today, and got a kind of parched today in the old throat. And so, what are we drinking today? Today's beverage of choice is Splash Berry Blend, and it's by Nature's Nectar. So we're gonna give that a shot. And just wanted to say, shout out to my longtime fan Museum. What up, Museum? Appreciate you chiming in on my last couple videos. It's good to hear from you, and just wanted to say I appreciate it. So with that, let's uh, let's crack into it. Dive into it here, and see what it's like. Ooh, it's sweet. Definitely taste the sugar in there. Yeah, so just hanging out this morning. Thought I'd get on, throw some shouts out to um, the fans. Let them know that I care. I see them. I know they're there, and I appreciate them. Somebody is rolling really slow out in front of my place right now, and I don't know why. That's weird. Yeah, so I'm back there. I'm in the room, and I'm watching. I'm in my office back there, and I'm watching these clips on the tubes about who people vote for and why they vote for them. And people, it's so funny how um, Democrats like Bill Maher are. Bill Maher, I think he's an idiot. That's my personal opinion of Bill Maher. But then again, I think anybody who voted for Biden is probably lacking in brain cells. Um, I believe that voting is like a flawed. It's a flawed system because I don't believe that it really works. I think that you know there's a lot of special interest money and votes are being bought and all kinds of crazy things are happening. And now with the voting by mail, we had a bunch of dead people voting and ballots being thrown away. They got videos of postal service trucks where they just they're throwing them right in the dumpster, or they're unloading and counting ballots at like 3 in the morning when no one's at the polling station to supervise. It's crazy stuff going on lately, and but yet I've got a lot of friends of mine who, last year they were swearing up and down that Biden just has done just a great job, but I can't tell you with what in specific. Like what has he done in specifically? What policies has he enacted that have been so amazing? And that's like saying, oh well, I think that Camel Toe Harris is a wonderful vice president. Well, why do you like her? Well, it's because she's the first woman, and she's the first female black vice president, which is last time I checked, those weren't qualifications that were based on merit, like your ability to perform the job at hand. So I don't know. I think that I think that, and I've been pointing this out the whole entire last 3 years. of Biden's presidency is old people are ridiculous, man. They're just like dementia ridden. They have no business trying to run anything. If you're 65 or older, like, you're a senior citizen for a reason. There's a reason why you're a senior citizen. It's because basically, like, you're too old to, like, perform, you know, at work at a job, like at a factory, or, you know what I mean? Like, you just age out, and that's okay. And I really think there needs to be age limits and term limits. Like, somebody like Michael Jackson, you know, shouldn't be able to dress up like Nancy Pelosi and go be Speaker of the House. That's just my opinion. So I really don't like getting into it because, there was the whole COVID thing where COVID came around, and I refused to take an experimental, you know, shot. Was not going to do that. Just refused to do that. So luckily, I'm in a position where I didn't have to worry about losing my livelihood or anything because of refusal to take the shot. But there was quite a few people who did lose their livelihood over that, and I just don't think it's right because I had lost a lot of friends because they were trying to tell me that I was part of the problem because I wasn't going to go get vaccinated. So, you know, now 3 years on, I tell people, look, man, I never got vaccinated, never did anything. I never had any kind of shot, booster, or anything like that. And I'm still here, you know? And so, what does that tell you? But, you know, you've got a lot of people who just. I guess my real problem with Democrats and liberals and such is that they just can't admit when they're wrong. Or they just can't say, hey, you know what? We canceled the pipeline, the Nord Stream pipeline, and we blew it, or Biden blew it. He comes in his first day in office, he cancels, the pipeline, the things that would have led us towards energy independence. He basically gets rid of them, and then he goes to the Saudis, asks the Saudis for oil. Obviously, they tell him to shove it, and so he's got a problem there. And I also think that they inflate the price of everything too. It's like if you look at gasoline, man, it was up to like $4 and $5 in California, and $4 and $5 back here too. And then slowly over time they ratchet it down, they ratchet it down, they ratchet it down. And then they say, oh, see, we're getting all this under control now. We're doing such good job at everything that we're able to, really grab it by the balls and bring it back under control. Well, I don't know if y'all remember. See, that's the thing about American life is everything is supposed to go down the memory hole at some point. You're not supposed to be able to think back and remember too far back. It's kind of a thing that they got going. Um, but when Trump was in office, I believe the prices were something like 2.39 or two. There's no way that they were higher. They weren't even $3. No way they were that high. So it's kind of funny how they jack it way up, and then they bring it down, but it's still higher than it was when Trump was in office. And but yet they try to say, "Oh, this is good. We're getting everything back under control," but prices are still higher than they were. So I don't know how they claim that. They got a bunch of claims that are just ridiculous. Oh, I did the most jobs and the president. And blah, 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 blah. You know, Biden says that his administration rolled out the COVID and all that. They rolled out the vaccine. But then they got video of Biden. He's taking his vaccine in December, which is like a month before he takes office. So it's ridiculous, man. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But the thing that really drives me nuts is when you see these people like Moore, and I guess a bunch of Democrats are doing this now, where they're like, "Oh yeah, Trump 2024," because it's like, yeah, dude, you're an embarrassment, and the only way that you can try to not be an embarrassment is to say that, "Oh, I've seen the light now, and I'm not, I'm totally voting Trump this year," and you think that everyone's, "Oh, okay, you're good now." No, man, we know who you voted for last time when everything got screwed, and so you think that you're just gonna come in and switch sides and then be all good. It's like if you're, I guess it's like your stupidity is on display now. Basically, you can't really hide your, your ideals anymore, and so it's turning out to be a good thing because it's like we don't have to try to pick and choose and decide who we think the ignorant people are anymore. It's kind of plain to see, which I guess is a good thing. But don't act like you didn't ruin things when you did, because I'm not gonna let that slide. I'm not about to let that go. So I lost a lot of long term friends who, they just had to be right about COVID, and they were so smart because they got a gender affirming position at, like, Yahoo or Google or one of these companies. That just made them super intelligent. But when they turned out to be wrong about COVID, they couldn't um, admit it. Like I said, give me liberty or give me death. That's where I'm at with the whole thing. Not doing it. And so it's kind of interesting. Like the Chinese, they knew. If you looked over at China, what were the Chinese doing? They weren't doing much. It was pretty much like business as usual. If you look online, you see a lot of these countries, Egypt, where they never wore masks. They never did anything because it just takes a basic understanding of immunology to understand how your immune system works and how it reacts. You don't need to know about dRNA and RNA and all these things and messenger RNA. You don't have to have all these knowledges to understand how, immunology 101. It's basic. So it's kind of funny how Biden came out and said, "Oh, if you get the shot, you won't, get sick, and you know, you won't get COVID." They made all these promises, which turned out not to be true because they don't know what the heck they're talking about, you know. And then they had Fauci up there, and then it was funny because Fauci, if you remember back in the '90s, he was the lead guy on HIV and AIDS, right? And back then he swore, "I will not rest until I find a cure for HIV and AIDS." Well, I guess that guy hasn't slept in like 30 years or something because he never found a cure. And then he went on to be the head of the CDC and COVID research, essentially after failing, his prior task of not finding a cure and doing all that. And then what was interesting was he retired. You know, he gets out there. Oh, we're gonna do all the COVID stuff, and then before it's all even over with, he retires. So that's kind of interesting. It's interesting that he was just deified as some kind of, he's supernatural. He's a little fucking hobbit, man. He's a little troll. He's a little hobbit. He doesn't deserve the kind of salary that he gets. They all made so much money off of this, and that's why I don't take prescription medications. Oh, I guess I do now. I take insulin because I just came down type 2 diabetic not too long ago, so I have to have the insulin. But I am adjusting my diet and doing some exercise and things to see if I can knock the type 2 down and change it around. Reverse it. I think I can do that. And I'm trying to do that. So, I have a real refusal when it comes to vaccines, flu vaccine. I've never had a flu vaccine. And I've never had a COVID shot. And I don't really like Western medicine. I'm not going to the doctor to get a pill or something that I can take. I'm not gonna. I don't prescribe to that kind of medicine. Um, I'm more of a natural guy. I'm more of a herbalist, if you will. Um, and I just don't see how people can't connect the dots with, every time there's a shot, these people make billions of dollars off of these vaccines and they don't work. You know, it's just like the masks. Oh, wear a mask, 6 feet of space. None of these things. It was proven that these things don't do anything. But yet, 90% of people, there's still people walking around with a mask on their face because they don't understand basic things about biology. Like, for instance, the virus enters through what's called a mucosal membrane, and that can come through your nose or your mouth into your lungs. So you put a mask on, you cover your nose and mouth, thereby covering the mucosal membranes, right? Well, that's what you think. But did you know, because most people don't know, that the eye ducts have mucosal membranes in them as well? Well, they'll say, well, the odds of transmission through the eye ducts is a lot lower than through the nose or mouth. Why would that be? A mucosal membrane is a mucosal membrane. So, when you're wearing this mask, guess what? You've got mucosal membranes that are exposed the entire time. Defeats the purpose. So, it just doesn't make any sense, and you only need like a half a brain to figure this stuff out. You know, I went to college for about a year, didn't graduate, so I don't have a PhD in immunology or anything, but yet and still I know what B cells and T cells are and how they work. You know, if you don't know what a B cell and a T cell is, you probably shouldn't be taking the vaccine. If you don't understand about natural immunity through exposure to a virus or an antigen, you probably should go back to high school and pay more attention in class. Well, that's been my time with you here today, and I would like to say my position is that I don't vote. I didn't vote in the last election, but that doesn't mean I don't have a right to complain like some of these liberals and Democrats will say. These people who ruin the country with their voting are the same type of people who tell you you don't have a right to complain because you didn't vote. Now, I can complain and talk freedom of speech about whatever I want. You don't have to listen to it or agree with it, you know. But that's kind of funny because the definition of liberal is literally that you're tolerant of other people's viewpoints and opinions. So when you don't want to tolerate mine, just remember that that's not very liberal of you. So I'm gonna say that's gonna be Trump 2024 because Trump. You may not have. You might have got your feelings hurt and your sensitivities were maybe a little bit hurt. And oh, daddy, my parts hurt. He's making my parts sore. You know, but he got the job done though. So that's the BL. The bottom line, the man got the job done, and I'd like to see a competent president instead of right now we have basically a resident who resides at America's most luxurious retirement home for old people. They don't want him to debate because they know that he can't debate. He'll refuse to debate. How are you going to vote for a guy who can't debate the issues? Come on, man. These people are really, really delusional. And so I say old man Joe has got to go for 24, and I hope that that's the case because we cannot go forward, move forward like this. It's just not going to happen. So, with that said, I wish you all the finest day possible today. Be good to each other. Take a moment out of your day to tell someone that you love them. And keep your head up, guys. Things are going to get better. Things will turn around. And, yeah, take it easy, guys. This is a drink guy. Signing off. Peace.